serious sunshine for you today. My special guest is Jonah Minot. Hi, Jonah. How are you today?
Hey Tom, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here. Jonah, I met Jonah a couple years ago. We were working together with Stonewall Columbus um, to help select a new executive director, and it was a joy to get to know Jonah. Jonah is married to Gina. Jonah is the Chief Experience Officer at the Columbus Veterans Administration. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Very involved with King Avenue United Methodist, very involved with Stonewall. And I am so lucky, and we're all lucky, that we're going to get to hear a little bit about Jonah's values and his superpower. And Jonah, I'm going to turn it right over to you. 7 minutes flies by.
Okay. Well, thank you. It's a real pleasure to get to talk a little bit about values. It's something that I think about a lot, try to think about a lot. It really comes from my background as a social worker. So in social work, we have a set of core values that we both hold and aspire to. So that's one of the things that really, I guess, attracted me to that profession, was feeling like I aligned with the core values of social work. So I really could have probably taken the core values of social work and talked about just those today, but I didn't. I departed from that a little bit. So what I wanted to talk about today, I guess, are the values of perseverance, of growth, of advocacy, and I blanked on what was my fourth one.
You got
Tom.
you got perseverance, integrity, growth, justice, and your superpower is to advocate.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess I'll start with talking about integrity. So I think integrity for me is about doing what you will say and saying what you will do. And as far as like saying what you're going to do, it's making that commitment. It's letting people know this is what I'm about, so that folks can hold you accountable to that. And when we try to do something that's challenging or that's new, it's helpful to put that out there as a goal with other people, and that way they know what we're attempting to do, and it's not just something that we keep inside, so that if we're secretly afraid that we're going to fail at it, then people are able to let us know when we're not living up to our values. And then, of course, doing what we say we will do, that's the key part then of integrity, right? Following through on what we have committed to. Sometimes that's a tough thing to live up to, but that's why it's a value and not an absolute, because the thing about values is that we don't always live in alignment with our values, but if we're really focusing on our values, then we're trying to do that. For growth, I think about I've always had to work on growing. Every phase of my life, there's been something that I have done to push myself to another level, or to go beyond what I thought was possible. The big thing that I think about with that in this phase of my life that I'm in right now has been my transition. So I was born a biological female, and when I was in my late 20s, I transitioned to male, and there was a lot of growing that came with that, as one could probably imagine if you've ever read or heard anything about that process. And now part of my growth is to understand, that I carry this male privilege, because as I walk about the world, a lot of people don't realize that I'm transgender. And so I have the ability to go and really disrupt a lot of sexism or male privilege that people don't realize is going on. Justice. Justice is social justice, and justice generally is one of the things that really attracted me to social work. Committing yourself to a career where you're going to help to improve other people's lives just because it's the right thing to do. And I think that we're all growing in learning what justice should look like. I know I'm growing in learning what justice should look like, and that's something that is really important to me, and that continues to evolve too. There are so many groups that, or so many really individuals and so many people that we can be working to help. Sometimes it can be overwhelming thinking about all of the injustice that's in the world. But I try to take my approach as, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So really, I just try to live my life where I do the work that I can do, that I'm well suited to do, and I continue to challenge myself to expand what that means for me in my own capacity. And I trust that we have a lot of really ambitious, talented people out there doing the exact same thing on a lot of different issues, and together, we can make this a more just world. And I think that's where perseverance comes in, because it can be disheartening. Things happen that don't go the way you think it should go, and that can be really tough. And we have to have some personal courage, and we have to persevere through difficult times. I really think that a lot of what's happened recently with the coronavirus has been a story of perseverance, of all of us realizing that we have to be able to endure hardship, whether that hardship is a change in our routine or a change in our resources, or if it's something like, being isolated from friends and family. But having the perseverance to trust that this doesn't last forever, that we can make it through difficult times and come out the other side. That's really key to being able to get to that finish line, right? To reach all of our goals. And so then I guess I'll kind of talk about why I picked advocacy or advocating as my superpower. I think that in some ways advocacy was my superpower by default, because when you live in the LGBT community, when you're a member of the community, just living your life in an open way really forces you to be an advocate, because even, going to work and being open, going to family functions and being open means that you are advocating for your community with people who might otherwise never have learned about that or seen that. So I think that was I think that in some ways, I just by living and going about my daily business, I became an advocate. But then also I discovered that I have a skill for being able to not only, actually less or so speaking up for myself, but to really speak up for others, to recognize when we have people whose voices are not being listened to or who are being ignored, and being able to really have empathy for them and to speak on their behalf, or to raise up their voices, which is really what I would prefer to do in every situation possible. As a social worker, you get used to doing this. As a clinical social worker, I definitely had a lot of opportunities to do advocacy with and for individual clients. But then also on a macro level, we do this too. So it's just kind of critical, but it's also really rewarding. There's nothing better than putting a message out there that isn't just about you, but is really about an entire community of people.
Wow. Jonah, thank you. That was fantastic.
Thanks.
We could talk for hours. We could talk for hours. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being authentic and true to who you are. Thank you for showing up at Stonewall, showing up for your community, showing up for veterans, showing up for the trans community, and just showing up as a social worker. And just countless. I just know countless folks have been uplifted by you and your work, and just being you. So thank you. You're helping us shape this new future, this new garment. Thank you.
I appreciate it, Tom, and it's really an honor because you are one of my inspirations, and I look up to you every day. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Oh my gosh, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you, Jonah. Well, listen, we went well past our 7 minutes, but it's just so hard to keep the 7 minutes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. I can't wait to see you again. Thank you for all the work that you do. And Jonah, remember, even when it's really damn cloudy out, the sun is always shining. All right?
That's right.
All right. Listen, you have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.